Hello, guys.
Hello.
Dushan Lazar here from How to Rhino. This is going to be our first in the series in the next couple of weeks live. And right now, we're gonna wait a couple of minutes for everybody to join, and then we're gonna start with today's Q&A. First of all, we have a lot of people from different platforms right now. We have people here from Instagram, we have people from YouTube, we have people from um, LinkedIn and Facebook. So just to be sure, can you guys please let us know, write a comment if you can see us and you can hear us. So we know that.
Do we have a sound? Yeah.
So we have some people from. Okay, so you guys can hear us. Good. All right.
Great.
Awesome. So yeah. We'd like to let you know about our upcoming workshop. This workshop is going to happen on our platform that is called School, and this is going to be a community where you'll be able to find all of the information about the workshop itself. It's going to contain all of the files, all of the calendar events, and that's the first thing where you want to go if you want to participate in the workshop. The workshop is going to happen in exactly around 20 days. So it's going to happen on May 27th. That's when it's going to start. And the first thing that I want to emphasize here is that you all go to this URL. And I'm going to give you the link. If you see this link, that's where you want to go to participate in the workshop and to register your account. Again, all the information is gonna be there.
I see some interesting question
Already,
related
okay.
with the platform. Uh, how do we make Grasshopper match rooms in a floor plan we give as an input? I think probably on Friday. So in 2 days, we are going to publish our new tutorial how to create the floor plans from the 3D wall. So from the 3D, let's say, model. So in that tutorial, we'll show you newest Grasshopper feature that come with Rhino 8.
Yeah.
And we'll show you how we can create dimensions, annotations, hatches, so we can customize hatches, also line types. So you can expect our newest tutorial in 2 days, and we're going to demonstrate how you can measure rooms in a floor plan.
Yeah, this is really good because like Rhino 8 recently came out like almost 5 months ago now, and it has a lot of new features specifically for Grasshopper, but also in Rhino. And during the workshop, we're gonna actually cover some of these new features in depth, so you'll be able to get a better understanding of what these new features are. Some of them are really interesting. One of my favorite ones is uh, the, the section cuts that can be you can have multi-layered section cuts, which
We
means
have we have a similar question here. This one.
would it be possible to have plugin for more advanced architectural modeling? For example, create layered walls with lines just like Revit. Yes, so this is exactly what I'm talking about right now. So this is the new feature of Rhino 8 that we're going to explain in detail. And you'll be able to have, think about it as an exploded diagram of, let's say, a 3D detail, right? So you can actually pull the layers, you can have multi-layered sections, and those sections can be not only in one plane but also in two planes. And this means that you can expose different materials, different structures inside of the detail, and also you can implement a very interesting like section styles. So it means that you can modify the line type, you can modify the hatches, and it's going to be all possible to do in 3D, which is quite cool, specifically for architectural drawings. Any other questions?
I just wanted to reply to Mali's put Malise message that we you already prepared a demo video for area measure of input floor plans. It will be more than a demo because that tutorial will be around 1 hour. So it will be. I mean, we're going to explain
be more in
detail.
depth. Yeah. So so first of all, guys, if you haven't already, bookmark this link below that is now in the this link school.com/how-to-rhino. That's where we're gonna host the event, and that's where we're gonna uh, gather all of our subscribers, all of our followers. So if you're watching this, you're welcome to join our community on School. So now I'm going to share my screen and I'll show you what this community looks like and what we're planning on doing here. Really actually excited about this because this is something that we've always wanted to have, this kind of platform where you have the ability to host live events, but also you have the ability to put your courses, to put your tutorials, to actually talk with people, to communicate with people. So think about it as like a forum, but also forum with course content, but also with Patreon content, but also with YouTube content. So everything in one. So that's the first time that we're going to do this on the School platform this year. And we're also have a lot of big plans for this platform later down the year, but I'm going to talk about it later on. So now,
we have two interesting questions. So the first one, let me just, how beginner friendly is this workshop? Maybe we can highlight.
Let me see. Let's see.
From the A.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a question: how beginner friendly is the workshop? I'm fairly new to the program, and I was wondering if it's for beginners.
Yeah, so it will be for both complete beginners and also for advanced users of Rhino. So Dusan explain later in detail everything about the workshop, but I will just answer to your question. So you can expect also for the total beginners. So we'll explain, like, for example, how to add simple components on the canvas with the Grasshopper, what are the inputs, outputs, so all the basic things, but also we are going to model like complex geometry. So you can expect both.
So yeah, in short, think about this as if you never opened Rhino, if you never opened Grasshopper, this is for you. But also it's going to be for people who are more intermediate and more advanced because we're going to have different events during the workshop. I'm going to explain this in a minute. But in essentially, it's both for complete beginners and for a little bit more advanced users.
Also, we have a question. Where is it? Have you tried using Rhino to 3D print models? We have maybe we have some here.
We can show some of the 3D printed models.
Yeah. On our YouTube channel, you can find a video. First is how to model a facade. And then in the next video, you can we explain all the details how you can 3D print that facade.
Yeah. Oh, where was this question? Was it below?
This one.
Yeah. So short. In short, yes, we actually use Rhino. And Rhino is one of the best tools when it comes to 3D modeling in general. And you can see here next to me we have two 3D printers. One of them is Ender 3. The other one is Bambolab P1S, and we're gonna probably have a lot more interesting 3D printing tutorials in the future as well. And we even might have like a very specific course in the future for 3D printing in architecture. So definitely that's something that we use Rhino for.
And please, Mohammed, you don't need to pose the same question 5 times. So I say it here. Can you illustrate how tree works in Grasshopper? The demonstration of data tree in Grasshopper would take like more than a few minutes. So we'll skip that for now. But we have tutorials in our YouTube tutorials, so we explain multiple times.
Yeah, maybe we can also mention this in the live workshop, possibly. We'll see. Because this
workshop,
because this explaining how the trees work in Grasshopper is not something we can do like on the fly. We have to actually prepare the materials and prepare the tutorial for you and then explain it. So, and it's also not something that can be explained easily, because in order to understand how the trees work in Grasshopper, you need to understand how the lists work, how the other things work. So it's not like straightforward process, but that's something that we can probably cover there. Um, all right. So yeah, what I was saying here is, okay, we have one question here about freezing. For instance, the program starts lagging if I'm trying to select hundreds of contour lines. However, it's not thinking in Rhino 7. So this probably, Bandit, this probably depends on the file itself. So I cannot give you the right answer here. It probably has to do with maybe you have some blocks that you imported from, let's say, AutoCAD or some other tools that you brought in Rhino. So usually when you have the freezing or the lagging, that has to do with a lot of imported geometry that doesn't belong to Rhino, or the imported blocks, or maybe meshes, or maybe files that are hidden inside of the Rhino file. So the best thing to test this would be to actually select all of these lines, select only the lines, and then select export as selected in a new Rhino file. And then you can compare that with Rhino 7. You can export that as Rhino 7 and Rhino 8 and see if it's the case again.
We have a question. Is it possible to create auto landscape material with V-Ray and Grasshopper? I'm not sure. What do you refer?
Auto landscape.
Auto
I'm assuming that you're thinking about how to create like big, let's say, grass field or concrete field or whatever it is. So you can use V-Ray scatter. For example, that's one option. You can also use regular V-Ray material. So usually when you want to create something that is like on a big landscape, you would first want to have the base material, which is going to be like a regular texture. And then on top of that, you may want to use like grass models, or some kind of plant models that you can distribute through V-Ray scatter.
I have another suggestion. Also, if you want to create material, not like scattered grass or
Yeah.
something like that, so you can use a V-Ray material in combination with the Human plugin. So Human plugin has some components that you can map the material, map the texture, and you can scale, and it allows us to do all these adjustments.
Okay, we have one suggestion that says, hello guys, please refer that you answer questions from YouTube Live. I've been on Instagram and it felt a bit confusing. So yes, we're actually answering the questions from all platforms, but right now most of the questions are coming from YouTube. So this thing that you see on the screen is the question that we currently are answering, just so you know. We have here another question from Fort. Fresh junior architect. My main software is Revit, AutoCAD, Photoshop, Lumion. I know it differs between individuals, but how much time does it take to learn Rhino for a beginner? So if you're completely starting from scratch, like if you never opened Rhino, this depends on how much time you're willing to put into learning Rhino from the start, right? So if you're learning it just like, let's say, like 1 hour a day, or something like this, that's gonna make progress, but it's not gonna be very quickly, of course. So every software takes time, it takes commitment, it takes practice. So in our opinion, like you need to use at least, let's say using software for at least 30 hours total is gonna give you that, let's say, beginner to intermediate part level, right? That's also maybe not enough, but I would say around 20-30 hours would be enough for you to learn to properly start modeling things in Rhino. Of course, it's not gonna be like in Rhino, you have many different options for many different models. Like you can model one thing in many different ways. So when you're a beginner, you just know one way because that's the way you learned it. But over time, when you get more experienced, you'll have you'll know exactly, like for example, I can make this building in 3 different ways. Like what is the most efficient way to do it? So later on you'll see that, but when you're starting out, you just need to kind of focus on, okay, I have to dedicate some time. I need to first find uh, who I want to learn from and what is my industry. Like I'm sure you guys know Rhino is used not just in architecture, but also in industrial design, product design, fashion design. So if you want to learn Rhino for industrial design, maybe it's better to find somebody who teaches Rhino only for industrial design and then listen to them. But if you want to focus, for example, only on learning Grasshopper, like Grasshopper is more universal. So it's not so strictly connected to architecture, but you can also, like for example, watch our tutorials for Grasshopper, then you can apply that knowledge to your particular field. All right. Let's see what else we have. Is there a way to create native editable parametric Revit family via a Rhino inside Grasshopper? So, Michael, this is a great question. The short answer is yes and no, because in order to create a Revit family, you really need to think about, okay, what are the parameters that I want that family to have? So what are the input parameters? What are the so-called like changeables that you want to have in that family for Revit? So Rhino inside Revit is not the ideal tool to create Revit families, and not because it cannot do it, but because it's not flexible enough yet, and it would take you actually more time to create a Revit family inside of Rhino inside Grasshopper than to do it in Revit. So for that reason, I would recommend that you do Revit families in Revit. But whenever you want to modify some of the parameters of that family, you can do that in Rhino inside. So that's how I would approach this, because whenever you want to create, like, think about this. Whenever you want to create a Revit family, you need to know exactly which settings and which materials and which options you want to have. In Grasshopper, like in Rhino inside Revit, it's not so easily, like you cannot see all of this when you open family, like when you open family editor in Revit. So my advice would be to do this in Revit, and then when you want to modify it or change it or duplicate it or make a copy or make a something else from it, you can do this inside Revit, and then you can save it as a new family.
How we have a question. You can scroll down. How do I start more? How do I start to learn Grasshopper to the fullest? From Abhilash,
This one.
this one. This upcoming workshop is the great opportunity to start learning Grasshopper. So we'll explain like all the basics. I mean, not all the basics, but we'll also cover the basics, and we'll also cover, as I said, some advanced stuff. So I think this is a great opportunity to start learning, and you can check videos on our YouTube channel. We cover a lot of tutorials on Grasshopper.
Yeah, this one. You mentioned 3D printing. What about getting files ready for 3-axis CNC milling? This is pretty similar to preparing the file for, like, the STL file for 3D printing. So it doesn't change that much. It really comes down to uh, you need to understand like how your CNC machine works and what are the angles that the tool head can approach. So in this case, you just need to take that into consideration when you're modeling in Rhino. Once you have the model ready, you can simply make sure that it's watertight, that there is no naked edges, and then you can save that as STL file, and then you put that STL file in your software that you use for CNC milling, and that software is gonna create the whole G code that you will need for the machine to work. All right. Mm,
We have a question from Bora.
wait, let's go one by one. So
Okay.
my Rhino final model is 1.5 gigabytes. Okay. How do I render it? Can live sync it with Landscape and D5? How do they do it? Abhilash, so this is wrong. Like, your files should not be this heavy. And whenever you have a file that it's, let's say, more than 400 megabytes, that something's wrong, right? So this depends on, like, if you're just stuffing stuff inside of your file, it's normal that it's not going to work if it's 1.5 gigabytes. So no matter how strong your computer is, that's not going to work. So what you need to do is you need to clean your file, you need to organize your file, you need to get rid of the things that you don't need in that file. You also need to prepare that file for a rendering, which means that if it's like a surface or a polysurface file, you can actually convert it to a mesh file, and then you can only use that mesh file to do the renderings. So you don't need all of the surfaces, all of the polysurfaces, plus additional meshes, plus probably additional things you have from different programs. Maybe you have blocks, maybe you have lines, maybe you have a lot of these extra things in your model. Make sure you have a very organized file. One a very cool command you can use is called purge. So click purge on Rhino and try to get rid of all of the things you don't need there, and that's how you lower down the size model from 1.5 gigabytes to something much less. If you have, let's say, a model that is like a city, in that case, you don't want to have all of that in one file. You want to use so-called work session files. Work session files allow you to split your model in multiple small models. And when you split your models, you can actually just access one part of the model. That's going to be, let's say, 100 megabytes. But if you do renderings, it's going to call all of these other models as well. So that's another approach you can take. Yeah, we have a very good comment here. Melissa said, that sounds like a desperate situation. We agree. Yeah.
And did you mention that maybe he can convert to mesh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was reading.
I said, yeah,
I was reading
you
the
can
comments.
convert all of the surfaces possibles to mesh. That's gonna make. So yeah, we need to say hi to our friend Bogdan Ilic. Greetings from Svergi.
I don't know how to pronounce.
Thank you, Boki. Then we have another question from Bora. Will the workshop be like series of live lectures, or will it be like one time live lecture? So we're gonna have 3 big lectures, and then those 3 lectures are gonna be followed by live events the day after. Okay, so you should actually watch the lecture. It's gonna probably be around like 1 or 2 hour long. Then you have 1 day to actually practice what we gave there on the lecture. The day after that, we're gonna have live events only for that lecture. We're gonna you're gonna be able to ask us questions. We're gonna explain something more. So we're gonna have those live events are gonna be probably like 2, 3, or 4 hour long maybe, and we're gonna have some more in-depth tutorials and material that we prepared, which is going to be connected with that first lecture. So we're going to have 3 big lectures. So the first one is going to be on Rhino. The second one is going to be on Grasshopper. The third one is going to be on Rhino side Revit. And then we're going to have the fourth one, which is going to kind of give you the overall view of all of them together. And I'm going to dive deep about this in a minute. Yeah, regarding the materials.
Yeah, you just need Rhino 8, because we'll cover some newest feature that comes with the Rhino 8 for both Rhino and Grasshopper. So I just suggest you to have Rhino 8. You don't need anything else.
Yeah. So I mean, Rhino 8 is, it's not mandatory, but it's good to have it because we're going to show the newest features, which are really good for architecture. So if you don't have Rhino 8, you can download it. You can use it for 90 days as a free trial, and you can use it for the workshop. And then later on, you decide if you want to get it or not. But we recommend that you get Rhino 8 because it's much better than Rhino 7 in this way that it has new features that we use. All right, let's see.
We have some questions related to SketchUp, how to import from Rhino to SketchUp, and also how to maybe one by one.
Yeah. So
this is, I think, fourth or fifth question to answer from Abhilash. So
you simply need you simply need to export your file. You can export your file from Rhino as OBJ file, or you can use 3ds file extension. So use any of these. You can actually export. You can export from Rhino to SketchUp as a native SketchUp extension file. So you can just simply go File, Export As, and you actually select SketchUp file. That's the easiest. So, what's your opinion about Rhino's current user interface and the integration between classic Rhino and Grasshopper?
I didn't quite understood.
Yeah, so I assume that Chris, you're thinking about Rhino 8. So Rhino 8 has a new user interface, and it has a little bit, let's say, improved layout, which means that like when you're docking your toolbars, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen the same way that it happened in Rhino 7 and Rhino 6, which means that there are slight changes. They did a lot of modification on like visuals, like the icons are looking a little bit different, and then you also have the dark mode in Rhino 8, so that's something new. Dark mode never existed before, so this is something that I'm currently using this because it just it reminds us that we have something new. But personally, I don't care that much about user interface because I'm really used to Rhino 7 and Rhino 6 before. So whatever comes next, it cannot be that drastic and that so much different than Rhino 7.
Maybe we can explain on our live event on the workshop
Yeah.
how to
Yeah, this is
adjust
gonna be
the-
this is gonna be explained in detail on the workshop for sure.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's
Maybe we have a question from our student, from Inge.
this one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When converting model to mesh, is it just by marking the whole model and convert? Will materials still be the same? You can there is component NURBS to mesh, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the name of, and then you can you need to just set. Do you want more faces or less faces? And the windows will pop up. You just need to adjust the conversion. I'm not sure about the material. Do you know the answer?
Yeah. So in terms of the materials, if you want to render something, it would be better if you before you apply materials, you actually convert. So before you apply the materials, you convert the model to mesh, and then you apply the material on the mesh, right? So that way you'll be sure that the materials are gonna be applied, because sometimes when you're converting from NURBS to mesh, if you already have the materials applied to that NURBS surface, sometimes the conversion to the mesh will mess up the materials. Not always, but sometimes that happens. So for example, let's say that you want to use your Rhino file, but you want to maybe model it or render it in some other software. So you want to export the NURBS surfaces as mesh, and you want to push it to some other software. In that case, it's better that you actually apply the materials on the mesh directly, instead of applying it on the surface and then converting it to mesh and then exporting that mesh to other software. So hope that makes sense. All right. So Joshua asked where to see more details about the Rhino workshop. So you simply go to this link. And this is the place where you'll have all of the information about the workshop. Now we're gonna start with that. We're gonna share the information about this workshop, and also we're gonna answer the rest of the questions when we finish the presentation. Okay, so now I'm gonna share my screen, and I'll show you our workshop. I'll show you our group. So let's go share screen, and just give me a second here. It's gonna be this one. Okay. And now you should be seeing my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Let me know. So do you guys see it? Yeah, okay, it's visible. All right, so this is this group that I was telling you about. This is our school group. You can see here the URL, so school.com/Rhino how to run. That's where you want to go to join. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about here is that, as I mentioned at the beginning of this live event, this is going to be our one stop where we're gonna deal with almost everybody that wants to learn Rhino, wants to learn Grasshopper, that wants to interact with us personally. We're really, again, excited to have this community. This platform is created to be the place where you can share the same topics with people. You can actually learn about things together. So we'll really like it because it connects all of the features that we ever needed. So, for example, we have here one of the most important features, which is community, classroom, and calendar. So this means that, for example, this first page is the place where you have all of the discussions. And this is the place where we actually share our projects. We talk about different topics. We talk about Grasshopper, Rhino, sometimes architectural projects. Some of our students also are here sharing their work. We're giving interesting information. For example, this was very interesting for me. Last week, Khalifa mentioned about robotic arms in architecture. So he shared, he asked if we know some of the resources online where we can actually get more information on this topic. And then, for example, Ragat shared a lot of interesting links. And also David as well shared one tutorial. So it's really good place where you can be helpful with other people. You can help each other out, and at the same time, you learn the software. Sometimes we even have people who shared their graduation projects. For example, Fahad was one of our students from our courses, and here he shared some of the work for his thesis project. So just wanted to show you this. So this is where you can actually see, again, all of the people from our courses, but also people from different social media platforms that are interested in learning Rhino, of course. Now, the good thing about this is that you will see that we have on the right side here a thing called leaderboard. So leaderboard is the place where you can you can see who are the people who have the most points from the last 30 days. So the way that this platform is created is to be incentivized to actually earn points, and you earn points by getting likes, and you get likes by posting useful information. So, for example, these people, whenever you like somebody else's post, like when you like here or there, they get points, and based on their level, they get different points to level up. Once they level up, they get different perks. Maybe they can open some future courses or some discounts, or maybe they can open some of the different lectures we have in the classroom area. So the overall strategy is that you want to have to help other people to get those points. Now, we have this second part called Classroom. When you click there, that's going to contain all of the courses that we have, but also some of the free stuff. So right now we have getting started tutorials, and then we have a workshop that is going to happen from May 27th to June 6th. So I'm not going to talk too much about any of these other ones. I'm not going to focus on the workshop, but just so you know, you can access a lot of different interesting stuff here when you open them up. By leveling up, for example, when you level up your account, you can open, let's say, live recordings or live events or freelancing course, or can open up consultation calls with us. You can also open extended YouTube tutorials, or even get 50% discount to any course of your choice. Now, about the workshop. The workshop is going to happen on May 27th until June 6th. So it's going to happen for these 10 days. And during these 10 days, you'll be able to watch the recordings, and you'll be able to participate in the workshop. After those 10 days, it's not going to be available. So the workshop is not going to, somebody said here, what is the cost of the workshop? The workshop is not, it doesn't cost anything. The workshop is completely free. So this workshop is completely free. All you have to do is go to this link and join. Okay. Now, we do these kind of workshops only once or maybe twice a year max. But for example, the last workshop we did was in June 2022, so 2 years ago. So just so you know, make sure that you schedule these 10 days if you want to participate, because the materials are not going to be available after those 10 days. Now, regarding this page, this is the page that's going to contain all of the information that you need about the workshop. So this is going to be the first video that's going to introduce you to this page, how you can find information. Here's the calendar. So you can see here when I open this up, these are going to be the events. So I was saying that we have the workshop video 1 is going to be on 27th. Then the live event that's going to be connected to that workshop is going to be the day after. And then we have other, so the second event, third event, fourth event, and then we have 3 days where we're going to have some interesting surprises. So we're not going to uncover that now, but just so you know, we're going to have something in these 3 days as well. Regarding the exact time frames, you can actually simply click here. When you click on these events, that's going to take you to these pages here. Okay, so we have here for Rhino, for Grasshopper, for Rhino Said Right, and then the overview of all 3. When you click on the May 27th Rhino 3D, you'll see here that we have a locked icon. It's means this is not, the lecture is not open yet. It's going to happen on May 27th. This is going to be you can access this by simply coming to this page and watching the video. When it comes to the live event the day after, you'll be able to, the live event is going to be hosted here, and you'll be able to simply click here to join the live event. And also you have this ability to add the event to your calendar. So this means that, for example, let's say that you want to make sure that you don't miss it. Simply, you can click on this link here, and you'll see here that I can click on these events and I can add them with one simple click. So I can simply click add to Google Calendar. That's going to add that event in your calendar, so you'll know exactly at what time it is in your time zone. So make sure to do this when you join on this page, okay? And you do this for all 3 of them, or actually all 4 of them. So you have this one is for the Grasshopper. Simply click add to calendar again, and that's going to open up this page where you have where you save it there. And also the third one, and then in June we're going to have the 4th one, actually a couple of, this one, and then we're going to have 3 more events that are still going to come up. So that's how you add those up. And again, the same story for Grasshopper. For Rhino Said Right, we have the same organization for those and for the rest of them. Now, do you guys have any questions so far about the workshop specifically?
Because of the lag of 20 seconds.
Yeah, we need to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so it seems that everything is clear about a workshop. So once again, if you want to join the workshop, simply click on this or type this link. Here. Yeah, I know we posted this. It's pinned in the YouTube, but in some other places maybe it's not pinned. So just simply click here, school.com/howtorhino. Now
you can turn on the camera here. Here. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't work.
That's okay.
So the next thing I wanted to tell you about is so we have this, as I said, community classroom where you have all of the courses, and then you have the calendar, and this is the place where you have all of the events. In the future, we're gonna have probably one live event every 10 days for people who are inside of our community. So make sure to actually join the community. You'll be able to see the events here. They're going to be lined up right below. And also, we're going to probably have events which are only for some people who reach certain level of engagement in our group. So maybe if you need one-on-one help, we can help you with that. And also we're planning on, when you click here on leaderboards, you have our people who are actually the most active. In the future, we're also planning on giving awards and giving special prizes for people who are the most engaged in the group. So that's about the workshop here, and also our group. It's very simple to use. Whenever you want to ask a question here, you can simply click write something. You can write down your question, you can put a title, you can select a category where you want the post to be, and you can even attach a video, you can attach a link, or and so on. So it's very straightforward. We have very positive feedback about this platform, so we're really trying to get as many people here to join us to discuss this. All right. So yeah, that would be in short the presentation about the workshop. Now, yeah, let us know. Do you guys have any questions
Regarding the workshop,
about the
yeah.
workshop? Yeah.
Maybe later we can come back to the questions that are not related with the workshop and with the
Yeah,
school.
yeah, we can also talk about the other questions, but now just wanted to know if all of this was clear enough, so you get the idea of what the workshop is going to be about.
Any questions?
All right, so it seems like it's all clear. All right.
Okay.
Got it. All right, awesome. um Glad to hear, Michael. So yeah, in the meantime, um, we're gonna have one more live event like this next week probably. So in the meantime, you can also think about some of the things that you're most interested in learning more about for Rhino Grasshopper and Rhino Rabbit. You can actually give us those questions, and then we can see if we can answer those live on those days in the workshop. Um, so yeah, we have interesting question from Joshua. Uh,
Not related with the workshop. We
how
can
how
answer.
how was the P1S? Yeah, it's been really good. I'm really like we haven't spent too much time printing on it, but it's compared to Ender 3, it's like night and day in terms of the speed, right? So in terms of the speed, it's really like probably 6 or 7 times faster than Ender 3. And you have also ABS unit here, and it has 4 colors. You can actually create prints with different colors, which is cool. But the one thing I don't like it about it that much is that you have uh, it's called like, let me show you. It creates a lot of mess when it changes colors. You can see it has a lot of like, this is called poop. Like so it's actually creating a plastic poop from different filaments, right? So whenever it changes colors, like if it changes colors from black to white or from white to black, it's actually it doesn't wanna.
Come on.
There you go. So you see how it modifies changes the color, and then it spits out that part of the filament in the back. And then I printed this, for example, to collect all of this junk because it's going out from the back. So this is something that I think they could have solved something in a different way, but that's one thing that I think would be interesting to solve. For example, I know Prusa. Prusa has one printer that has like five different heads, and it's actually printing. You have 5 different extruders. Every single extruder has its own color, and then there is no this kind of junk coming out from the back. You simply modify the extruder, you change the extruder, and then it's actually much more expensive than Bumble Lab, but it's a better solution in that case. Yeah, we have the question. Is the workshop a good start for well, может, you can say this, yeah.
Is this workshop a good start for Grasshopper? Definitely. We'll cover some basics, so some very simple stuff. So I think this is a great opportunity for you to start learning Grasshopper. And we have another question. The next one.
Well, this is the same.
Yeah, I answer.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, from the Wasif. Are there any software plugin I don't know how to pronounce prerequisites that one needs to have before starting the workshop?
No, I mean,
No,
You could install
I will.
Rhino inside Revit if you want to test it out. So you would need Revit, and you would need, of course, Rhino. And then Rhino inside Revit is the plugin for Revit. And all of these links are going to be included on the workshop page, so you can actually download them from there.
And I will also check because in our third live event for the Grasshopper, I prepared some quite complex Grasshopper script, and I will check if I use some plugins, and I will let you know in the next live event in 7 days. So I will keep in mind to check and let you know.
Yeah. Um, from Bora, I'm a complete stranger to Rhino. I'm experienced in parametric modeling for engineering parts. With the Rhino, will I be able to model artistic and natural looking models? Yes, because I mean, it kind of depends what is the artistic model and what is the. I'm assuming that you're thinking about organic shapes or organic models, like which are a little bit more amorphic and a little bit more curvy. So yeah, we actually cover how you can model these kind of models in Rhino. There's a specific set of tools called subd tools. We're going to dive deep into subd tools as well to show you how they work and how you can really just think about a shape and then you can produce it in Rhino. How to reduce the latency computational time of a Grasshopper script. We'll discover the rendering side of Rhino model. Uh, this depends. This heavily depends on the way that you organize your Grasshopper script and
Exactly.
which components you use. So it's not like so easy to answer. Like we need to take a look at the script to kind of tell, okay, this part of the script you could have done maybe with one command
Different way,
or
yeah.
one component, and that would have solved many minutes or seconds.
And try to use Boolean components.
Yeah, so they are kind of the ones which are giving you the most calculations time. So try to avoid them if you can.
Yeah, if you can. I mean, if you're advanced user and if you know C sharp, then you can activate the parallel computing to activate more threads
On your
Uh,
CPU. Yeah,
yeah,
so that's a little bit more advanced, but yeah, it's possible.
I'm just giving you the option. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Mariam is asking: is it better to easier to use Grasshopper for modeling high-rise buildings or to build it myself in Rhino? This is this happens like a lot. Like people ask this question a lot, and there is no like a right answer for this because it depends on the project itself. One thing that you really should understand is that you should not do something in Grasshopper just so that you can say that you did it in Grasshopper, right? So if it makes sense, if it's more efficient, if it's saving time, if you think about it long term, and if it makes sense to build it in Grasshopper, then build it in Grasshopper.
Mhm.
But if you're just going to use it once and you're never going to use it again, do it in Rhino, because in Rhino it may be quicker and more easy, right? So it's all about the workflow that you have and the project you have. So by no means, like, don't think that like something cannot be created in Rhino or cannot be created in Grasshopper. Think about if you can do this both in Rhino, both in Grasshopper, which option should I choose? I should choose the one that's gonna make the most sense for that project, right? So some projects are easier to be created in Rhino, some in Grasshopper, but whenever you start, before you start creating the project, think about, okay, if it's going to have some kind of parametric design, parametric tool, parametric facade, if I want to have multiple iterations of the same design, yes, then it makes sense to be done in Grasshopper. But if you're just building it, if you're just building one simple design that's not going to be changed, and you don't need parameters, you don't need to modify anything, then do it in Rhino. Okay? Because if you're building it in Grasshopper, you need to think about, okay, I'm building it in a way that I need to modify some things, to move the parameters, to move something, right? So just think about that approach whenever you start a project.
Here, message from Inge, our student. once
Yeah,
again.
thank you, Inge. Thank you, Inge.
Thanks.
Thank you, Inge. We're gonna probably open up the doors for our courses at the end of the workshop. But yeah, thank you for endorsing us. Um, uh,
We have another question. Sorry if you mentioned this before. Can you expand on how the workshop will cover beginner, intermediate, and advanced at the same day?
so it's not gonna be on the same day. So the first day is gonna have the basic part, and it's gonna have the overview, for example, of Rhino, how Rhino tools are created, how you start with using Rhino commands, how to build your first model. And then the day after is gonna be like a live event, and during that live event, we're gonna cover more complex topics. So the first day is gonna have a video that is pre-recorded. It's a lecture. It's gonna be a long lecture, like 1 2 hour long lecture, that has beginner in-depth videos. And then the day after is going to be a live event. We're gonna be ugh, I'm getting tired. The next day is going to be more complex topics and more complex models, which are based on the day before. Yeah, this doesn't refer to having multiple computers. It refers to having multiple CPUs or multiple threads in the CPU. So, for example, you have the CPU with, let's say, 34 or 32 cores or 64 threads. Or we're referring to that as parallel computing, not using two computers at the same time.
Because most of the Grasshopper components use single thread. Some of them, some native Grasshopper components use multiple threads, but in C Sharp, it's possible to create, to take any, like how to say, take any command or component and allow your CPU to use to work on a multiple threads,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you need to write this in with Rhino Common in C Sharp. It's quite I mean, it's not complex, but if you're familiar with C Sharp, it's not that difficult.
Michael is asking something about FEM plugin in Grasshopper, which um, can be compared to the apps such as SAP. Like, we're not actually familiar with any of these. I think this is something for structural calculations or engineers. So we actually don't have an answer to this. I don't even know what is FME plugin. Do you know? No.
I'm not sure.
All right. Eb is asking, do you need a specific computer to run these programs? I have an Apple laptop. Would that work? Yeah. So let me open up this page. This page is actually something that is going to answer that. So I'm going to share my screen, Abby, to show you. So these are the system requirements for Rhino 8, and you can see the system requirements for Windows and system requirements for Mac. So you can compare the properties here of the systems, and whatever you have, you can see. But usually, like, don't worry about this. It's going to be possible to run it unless you have very, very demanding models. All right, so I think we're gonna wrap it up. We don't have any more. Do we? Yeah, we don't have any more questions. So yeah, I skipped one question here. Maybe with this one. This is the last one I can answer. Um, can we use Grasshopper for CNC milling? I mean, yes and no. Like, why would you use Grasshopper? You can use Rhino. Again, it comes down to what your model is all about, what you're trying to do the milling on. Like, if you're trying to do the milling on a regular model that doesn't require Grasshopper, then don't do it in Grasshopper. Like, it's all about this is more the question of how do I create geometry. It's not about CNC. Like, if you can create geometry with Rhino, do it with Rhino. If you want to create it with Grasshopper, if you want parametric options, then use it for Grasshopper. You can use any of these methods, and then you can export it as STL and then you can use it later on in the CNC milling software. Um, Ishwar is asking a recommendation for rendering software for Rhino using Lumion with SketchUp. Is it possible to render a Rhino model with Lumion without converting Rhino model to other format? Yes, you can use Lumion for Rhino. There is a plugin, there's a live sync plugin that connects your Rhino model with Lumion. So if you're used to using Lumion in SketchUp, you can also use Lumion in Rhino. It's going to work the same way. But we actually recommend V-Ray for Rhino because V-Ray is like really the highest quality you can get when it comes to still images. So if you want to create really nice images for your products that you want to put in your portfolio, that you want to put for competitions, like you want to have the best software for still images. Lumion, on the other hand, looks very cartoonish, and it's not as professional as V-Ray, but of course it's much quicker. So it kind of depends on your time, how much time you have left. For example, if you want to create very nice diagrams that explain the concept of your project, you would also want to do them with V-Ray and combining Rhino V-Ray. That's going to give you much better effects than Lumion.
We also have some tutorials on our YouTube channel how to use Twinmotion with Rhino.
Yeah,
and how to create animation, because you ask about animation as well.
Yeah, there are a couple of tutorials, both on Twinmotion and also on Lumion, so you can check them out on our YouTube channel. And yeah, I think that would be it for today, guys. We're exactly here 1 hour, so thank you for joining us. We're excited to welcome you to our school group. Make sure to join once again. There's the link, school.com/howtorhino. Make sure to join us there, and then we can communicate there better. We can talk with each other every single day there. The next week, we're also going to have another live event like this, and then we're going to officially announce the workshop on 27th.
Thank you for joining us, guys, and it was nice answering to all of your questions. And see you in 7 days.
Yeah, see you guys.